Hello, welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. I just went to one of my favorite coffee places, Clatch Coffee in Redondo Beach. This isn't sponsored, but Clatch, if you are watching, you can talk to me. We can make that happen. It's one of the few places that won't tell me how much cold brew I can order. Oh, we can't give you so much caffeine because don't tell me how much coffee I can have. I don't have a problem. I can stop anytime I want to. You have a problem. Shut up. Thought I would start off with this picture. This is a display that's in my mom's house. My dad collected these things. On the left, you will see a computer disk from the 1970s. A giant monstrosity made of copper coated in iron oxide. On the right, you will see a hand-carved Mayan calendar. The amazing thing is that though they are the same size, the calendar actually contains just a little bit more information. We've come a long way. The calendar is one of my dad's favorite things. He just enjoyed the artistry and craftsmanship that went into it and how attractive it is, and the art style. Fascinating thing about the Mayan calendar. What was it, 7 years ago, there was a big hoopla, a little over 7 years. The Mayan calendars all ended at the end of 2012. There's an end of the world. It's all going to end because none of the Mayan calendars go past 2012. They've foreseen the future and they have nothing past 2012. And that was a misperception of the Mayan culture and their cosmology. 2012 was not the end of the universe in the Mayan calendar. It was the end of the cycle. They didn't have an apocalyptic cosmology. There wasn't an end to everything. It's not like the Judeo-Christian end of the world at the end of their calendar. It was just a transition into the beginning of another cycle. Their calendars went to 2012 and stopped because past that, it was a new cycle. Everything began all over again, and you could basically go back to the beginning of their calendar and start over. Cycles. So while there was an ending to things, there was an ending to that cycle, there was an ending to that pattern, it started over again. Let me show you another picture that is mindful of my age and mortality. This is my son last week. For those of you who are fans of the Dungeon Masters, yeah, this is Andrew, that little boy who came into the screen and show me his interesting things, came up to not quite my waist at the time. He's taller than me. This is the picture taken with him in his graduation suit holding his cap and gown. Last Wednesday, he graduated from high school. And then a day later, actually picked up his diploma. And that is the end of a cycle. That is the end of 12 years of education, the required 12 years of his education, starting, well, a little bit longer than 12 years, starting in preschool and taking him through 12 more years of dedicated daily learning. All the requirements, all the choices, all the selections leading him up to walking across a field in cap and gown, collecting his diploma case, and being graduated in a ceremony. I was wrecked during the whole thing, tears, because there were things that were ending, and I'd seen in my head the baby that I'd held in my arms. I'd cut the cord when he was born. I'd threatened to show his video on YouTube if he didn't clean his room, and then subsequently did so. Uncle Drac is a terrible father. I've seen him go from I saw the ultrasounds. I saw him go from next to nothing to towering next to me, officially an inch over me, but frankly, he's got to be something bigger than that, or I must have shrunk, or some combination of these things. And he's a high school graduate now. He's been taking courses through the regional trade school. He's a certified welder, and I've been going with him to the local college, our junior college at El Camino, and we're getting him enrolled so that he can start taking some college courses. College student. He finished one thing, and it's not over. It's not an end. It's an end to one stage of his life. It is an end to one stage of my bringing him up, of what his parents are going to be doing for him, and the beginning of something else entirely. Doctor Who episode The Return of Dr. Mysterio said it very well. Everything ends, and it's always sad. But then everything begins again, and everything can be happy. I am within 1 month of ending the Tuesday night Dungeons and Dragons campaign I've been running at the Game Chest. I have been running this campaign since March of 2018. Over a year, damn near a year and a half. There have been people who have come and people who've gone and people who've been there all along. I've had between 10 and 12 players at that table routinely, and it's coming to an end. There was a set number of events that were going to happen, and we're at the point where they know what the end game is, and they know what they have to do to get there. And yeah, it's going to take 2-3 weeks of play, but it's almost here. It's not going to last 4 more sessions. It may last 4 more sessions. You know, we're on Discord discussing, well, people who can't make these things, and you know, summer's here, so schedules are going to be what they are. Do we do 2 of these sessions or 3 of these sessions? Who can make it? Because we all got to be there for the 4th. Invitations have gone out to people who have participated in the game in the past, saying, you know, we've got a game. The final game's coming up. Do you want to be in on it? We'd like as many people there as possible. The week after the final climactic battle, we're planning an epilogue session. It's going to be a potluck, it's going to be a party, it's going to be a celebration, and we're going to go around the table and we're going to work out what is next for all of these characters. What are their lives after these events that have been this campaign? They've gone from first level characters, and they're all going to be 20 in a session or 2. Some of them are already there. It has been an amazing experience, and it has sharpened my skills, and it has bonded these people at this table, and it's about to end. Or is it? Everything ends. And it's always sad. I tear up a little bit when I think about this campaign being over. There's going to be a celebration when it's done, but at the same time, this world that we have been in, this map that I created out of my head, that everyone has set their feet on, that they have walked around in and kicked and occasionally accidentally created zombie plagues in, we're going to leave that behind. One of the players has commissioned artwork of all the players, of all the characters, and Uncle Drac as a GM in the background. That's going to get signed by everyone. It's going to go up on the wall of the shop. The first 0 to 20 campaign completed at that store. And it's historic. There's going to be stories for years, and people are pushing gaming at that store using this game as an example. It's an event and a storyline, and it's about to be over. I have great faith in the player characters that they're going to bring this to a successful conclusion, that they're going to win. But I don't know for sure, because things have been getting harder, and they're 20th level, and they should be able to handle most things. But at the same time, I have set this situation up so that, yeah, they might not win. They might not all make it out alive. It's almost a certainty some of them aren't. It's going to be the worst situation they've ever gone into, and some of those characters are not going to make it through to the final celebration. It's going to be spectacular. I can't imagine anyone going out in anything other than an astonishing, heroic climax. And then it's going to be done. You run a short little pickup game at a store or at a convention, 3 or 4 hours, you've got some characters there, people pick them up, they run with it, they laugh, they do stuff they couldn't do with characters they really cared about. What's this potion do? I drink it. And okay, that beginning, middle, end, you're done, you had fun, you come back and do another one sometime. Or you have a pickup campaign that gets a little traction. Well, we played like 4 or 5, 6 sessions of this. This was fun. But you get one of these campaigns, it's a year. It's over a year. It's almost a year and a half. It is, it's a map that's been created, and people have thrown in suggestions. Everyone has built this story together, these amazing characters, and this world that they've lived in and conquered and raised up and done everything they can, and they could lose. But they've made this something that one person didn't create. This is the work of a dozen people sitting at a table week after week for over a year, writing this story. And it's not like your television series that you see if it gets picked up for another season and you're not sure how because that's something you watch. That's something that you're passively engaging in. This is people involved, taking chances, picking up dice because you don't know if you're going to succeed. You might think you've got a really good chance of it, but that dice is going to tell you whether you succeeded or not. You're always taking a chance. There's always risk. There's always danger. And you've been at that, hedging your bets, gauging your power, making sure that the enemy doesn't get a step ahead of you until the times that they do, and then trying to catch up. It is hoping you can save the world when the time comes. And the stories that you tell on the way. How do you end that? Well, spectacularly, one hopes. Everything ends. You can have campaigns. I've been in campaigns that have gone on for 10 years or more. And you can lose interest and peter off and go off and do other things. But the Star Wars game that was 10 years long, and you can get very involved, run characters and the children of characters, and take this on to ad infinitum. But we've decided this game, when this game's over, there are things that can happen past this. But this is the campaign. And that ending, I've kind of played it up a lot. There's a prophecy that they're heading towards, and everyone has this sense of commitment and belonging, and that they need to be there. And this is going to be emotional. And you sit down and you roll the dice and you tell them what the situation that they're in, and you listen to their responses, and you roll dice to figure out how that goes. Lather, rinse, repeat until it's over. It's another session. It's not just another session, but you gotta just get through it. And have fun doing it. Pull out all the stops. Fireworks and explosions and diamond of vorpal swords. You make it as dangerous as anything they've ever done times 10. And you salute the fallen and you praise the victors. And sometimes the fallen are the victors. Sometimes that's how you win. Everything ends. And it's always sad. They're already talking about what the next game is going to be. The players have already begun to discuss what happens next. And I've thrown out some ideas, and there are a number of things on board. They want to play the victory system, which really makes me feel happy, because some of them have gotten a taste of it and would like to get back to doing that. And there's a number of things I can throw in that. They want me to keep running, and they want this table to continue. The players are still going to be there. The story is going to end, but another story is going to begin. Everything begins again, and it's always happy. Not every group carries on into another game. Not every game is going to carry on and throw its momentum behind something else starting. But, oh gosh, that conversation when you are looking at the end, that's magic. It's magic because you see that you have not just fostered an adventure and a story that is going to last for decades, but these people at your table are hungry to try other things that they want to do. They want to do there at that table. That's a special place now. That is a place where things of astonishing import happen. And you have built a legend, and it's never enough to build one. People come, people go. Some folks can make it, some people can't. Schedules change, life happens. But when everyone gets together and says, we want more, we want these characters to carry on in some other venue. We want their history to carry on. That's one way to do it. Or we want to play together in another game. We want to make other characters, we want to explore other things, but we want to play together with you at this table. I keep saying that there's no win or lose in a role-playing game, that everyone can win. You can have a bad game and everyone can lose, but when everyone has a story to tell at the end of it, then everyone wins. And I maintain that. But from a very personal perspective, from the perspective of the person sitting at the table, organizing this and running the game and giving people a world to run around in, when those people see the end of the campaign coming and they say, everything's going to end and it's going to be sad, what's our next beginning? Already reaching for the happy that comes with beginning something else and starting a brand new adventure, putting one book down and sighing deeply because it was a good book and you really enjoy what was in it, and looking at the bookshelf and going, where are we going next? That's when I win. That is when I take my bow and admit victory and maybe get myself something stronger to drink. Like maybe throwing some espresso into my cold brew. Because then the work starts. Because that next beginning, oh man, you run a 1.5 year game and you take people from 0 to 20 and things keep getting more spectacular and more amazing. And maybe you can start low again. Maybe you can start things off nice and slow and easy and build things back up. But you have set a precedent if you have run that game. You set a precedent if you've played in that game. That is now a seasoned table. That is a veteran GM with veteran players. And you have come to know what you can expect from one another. You've burned a lot of your tricks and you have thrown all the cliches and all the plot devices that you know. And now you're starting over again with people who know this. The people who think they've got a handle on how you do things. You can't do things that way again. When things begin again, now you're challenged. Now you have to rebuild yourself as a game master, and they have to rebuild themselves as players, and they have to start from not zero, because you've got language shorthand. You can refer to things that have happened in the past. What about this? Like the time we hit the lich. You've got a shared language in the experience. Darmok, Anjanad, at Tanagra. Their arms wide. You can refer to that and get past things faster because you've got this linguistic shorthand and the experiences that you shared. And now you need to carry that higher. And if it seems daunting and it seems like you're never going to be able to surpass the things that you managed to do in that campaign you just had, then you're doing it absolutely right. It should always seem harder to follow your own act. Or someone else at that table wants to step up. I'd like to run a game for this table. That is someone who is fully aware of what everyone there is capable of doing. And they want to have everyone run around at a world in their head. And that's a great thing. Game masters need a break too. And I like playing. I really like playing. I'd like to play for a number of these people GMing. But you want to leave a nigh impossible act to follow for them and for yourself. Because that's how we grow as storytellers and game masters and players, is you have done such a spectacular job. You have led this through such a great time and have such amazing stories to tell. How are you going to top that? I have no idea how I'm going to top this. But I am going to try. Truth be told, I drank more than half of this while I was still in the shop. I came home, threw some milk in, so I've got a latte for the rest of it. Maybe I have a problem. But I've got some games to write and some designing to do and a class to teach on Thursday nights. I'm teaching a dungeon mastering class at the game store. And some of my players are sitting in and learning how I've done some of the things that I've done. And sometimes you see the light go on behind their eyes like, oh my God, was it that simple? And yeah, it was. At the same time, I look forward to the stories they generate in their games. and hope to play. I'm looking forward to those beginnings. And eventually those games are going to end. And the cycle continues. I got a lot of games left in me. If I run a game every year and a half, if I have campaigns that run that long, this is the second 0 to 20 D&D campaign of over a year that I have run in 5th edition. And it's not the last. This is something I intend to do a number of times because it is a different and wonderful experience every time. And I'm looking forward to playing in a couple. I'm very lucky. I've got amazing people at my tables. And I hope to be an amazing person at other people's. Thank you for following me along on this particular rant through endings and beginnings in that order. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give me a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. If you have any comments on your own campaign endings, how you would end them, how you would start them, your session zeros, your epilogue sessions, anything you'd like to hear me talk about, subjects you want to hear me cover, leave a comment down below. I will love getting your comment and you will love leaving me one. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, why not? My channel is awesome. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you do, hit the little notification bell next to the subscribe button so you're actually informed when my videos become available. If you would like to help the channel out in a more substantial fashion, and me personally as I continue on with things, I invite you to hit me at my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/ScottCorum, and consider donating. Anything helps. Allows me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'm Scott Corum. This is what has mattered to me, and I will see you next time on the next Matters of DeCorum.